Have you ever had a party at your house? I've come to dread these because if you're not careful, you end up inviting that one person, that guy who doesn't quite get the hint that the party's over, even though everyone else left 3 hours ago. We invite the person because they're the life of the party. They're so much fun to be around until they aren't. And then you just can't find an easy way to get rid of them. You start by taking all the dishes from the table, right? You've done this. Then you start loading the dishwasher. Then you start to tidy up the chairs. Then you just turn off the lights in a few rooms. Then you walk over to the front door, but they're still there having the time of their life. Then you wake up the next morning and find them passed out on your couch. Well, okay, that may be okay in college, but it's not okay as a coach. Yet, I see even the most seasoned coaches making this mistake. It breaks my heart because it creates a lose-lose situation for everyone involved. It leaves a really bad taste in the client's mouth, and it gives our profession a bad name. Now, here's how it happens. Our coach, who, even if they avoided the first two mistakes, has now found themselves in an unfortunate spot. They did the hard work of finding a client who fit their zone of genius. They delivered phenomenal results, but they made a huge mistake and had no idea it happened. Those results meant that their clients grew, and then they faced a new set of challenges, a set of challenges far outside of the coach's zone of genius. Then they fall back into becoming just another coach doing an improv act, and will find themselves yet another master of none if they keep it up. They will typically notice it eventually, but they'll think to themselves, oh, the client must be getting value out of it. Otherwise, they would have said something. That's not how it works. It just isn't. Instead, what almost always happens is the client quietly and often unknowingly starts to resent the coach. They may even dread seeing the next session on their calendar. Sure, they may drop a few hints, but they don't say a thing more often than not. And this goes on and on until it ends poorly and painfully in an embarrassing parting of ways. Now, if you're not stopping regularly to assess whether you're the right coach for your clients right now, then I guarantee you're making this mistake and it's actually costing you dearly. Instead of serving the clients, the relationship changes and it actually moves to the clients being there to pay you. You're overstaying your usefulness. And this is especially tempting if it's hard for you to find new clients. You can't afford to lose an existing one. So you hold on too long, and if you don't do anything, you keep the engagement going. Now, I call this the freeloader coach because they end up taking more than they're giving. Just like that friend you found on your couch when you got up the following morning, that imposter syndrome kicks in and they feel like a fraud. You feel afraid that your inadequacy will be uncovered and that the whole house of cards will collapse. Now, there's good news. The solution is surprisingly simple. You need to structure your engagements to end on a high. And to end on a high, you either need to stop your engagements when the plan runs out, or you need to extend your skills and capacity to create a longer-term plan. In either case, ending on a high leaves your clients satisfied and enthusiastic about your services, leading to more ideal clients down the road. Now, Brian learned all this the hard way. His engagements would start off strong, everyone would be excited, but then it would just sort of taper off from there. After a few months, he'd start showing up for sessions and just repeating the same things. He genuinely knew that he was overstaying his welcome, but his customers were kind and they didn't say anything, and that actually made him feel a little worse. He felt like an imposter and he lived constantly worried that his clients were going to fire him. Now, when Brian called me, we worked together to structure his engagements to end on a high. I gave him some additional training and resources that actually dramatically extended the value that he could provide to his clients. Now, Brian can lose a client at any time and he doesn't skip a beat because he's got a full roster of great clients who are getting a ton of value from him and he's having the time of his life.